Alright, this video is part 2 of integration by parts. So if you did not see part 1 yet, you might want to take a look at that. This integral is a little more involved to solve, so you might want to take a look at the two a little more basic ones that I did first. I'm also going to go through this somewhat quickly, and I'm going to skip some what I would consider it for BC calculus, some basic steps from AB. So if you're like, where did he get that? Take a minute, pause the video, and kind of figure it out, okay? Because I will be skipping some basic steps and not showing the work for all the integration. I will be showing all the work for all the integration by parts because this is new to us, okay? So here we go. So remember from part 1, we have to identify some expression for u and some expression for dv. And what we do with that information, whatever we identify for u, we're going to differentiate that. And whatever we decide for dv, we're going to integrate that to figure out what v is. So as we look at this, x squared, I don't mind differentiating x squared to x. X squared, I don't mind integrating x squared 1/2 or 1/3 x cubed. Notice that even though you don't mind that, it got messier there and it got neater there. Okay, let's look at what the sine expression is doing here. The derivative of the sine of 3x is 3 times the cosine of 3x. That's not bad. If we made dv equal to the sine of 3x, the integral of that is what is that? Negative 1/3 cosine 3x, which is not bad either. Okay, but there's that one thing with x squared that stands out. Differentiate 2x, more simple. Differentiate 1/3 x cubed, a little more messy. So let's go with that. Okay, so now that we've gone with that, here's the expression that's left. It's the sine of 3x dx. So let's integrate that one, and we get negative 1/3 cosine of 3x. And I always have to double check my integration with trig. I always have to check by differentiating just to make sure I got it right, and it's going to be the opposite of the sine of 3x times negative 1/3, and that would make that a positive. So that's good. Okay, so here's the way we're going to make our substitutions, and so now let's write down the result. The result is u times v, u times v. Let me put that negative 1/3 out front here, just to clean it up again a little bit. So here's u times v minus the integral of v du. So I'm just looking ahead here a little bit, and it's going to be minus the integral of this negative, so we're actually going to have that double negative again. So minus the integral of v du. And again, just to clean it up here, here's du. And again, notice I skipped some steps there, some AB steps I would consider them. So pause the video, retrace your steps if you need to, and say, where did you get that? Okay. And if it's still not clear to you, feel free to ask, when the time is available. We'll have time available. All right, so next thing we have to do, and I'm just going to rewrite this just so it looks a little cleaner. So that part's okay because we've been asked to evaluate an integral, and this is a non-integral expression here. But notice what's happening next here. We have plus 2/3 the integral of x times the cosine of 3x dx. All right, so we have this integral to solve, and this looks similar to not only our original integral that we're using integration by parts on, but it's similar to one of the questions in the part 1 video. So we actually have to use integration by parts once again here. So now we're going to reassign. We have to reassign what u is and what dv is. And so I'm going to assign u to be x and dv to be the cosine of 3x dx. Differentiate. Integrate. Check my work. Cosine of 3x times 3, and that's a 1. Yep, that worked. So here we go. Here's our answer now. Equals -1/3 x squared times the cosine of 3x plus 2/3. And in here is going to be our integration by parts. So let's see. The result of this integral is u times v. So I'm going to write down, here's u times v minus the integral of v du, or I'm sorry, v du. All right, so we're almost there. Notice we have to, and I don't think I'm going to skip this step just for neatness sake here. I'm going to just distribute this 2/3 among both of these here. So 3x plus 2/9 x times the sine of 3x minus 2/9, and then we have this integral to evaluate. So what's the integral of the sine of 3x? Well, if we don't feel like thinking a whole lot, we just did it up here already, okay, which is the -1/3 cosine of 3x. So -1/3 cosine of 3x. All right, let's clean it all up, and then that'll be our final answer. So here we go. -1/3 x squared times the cosine of 3x plus 2/9 x times the sine of 3x plus 2/27 cosine 3x, and don't forget it, plus c. Whew. That was a long one, but there it is. All right, guys, time to start practicing.